UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world with our safe, secure, fast, and convenient service that offers you the largest selection of payout locations in the Gambia. Supersonics Money Transfer. We are currently in 34 African countries and counting, giving you quality money remittance services that are second to none. Visit the Google Play Store or the Apple Store today to download the Supersonics Money Transfer app and enjoy excellent money transfer services only with Supersonics.
African Oriental Store Africa America kono mole season fengol sotalie anin fengo mume be alie mume ya Gambia banko kan tuluse da sama jorangol can beef African Oriental Store nyilale fengol natalie falla bunda ko ngoto mole nete tuwo sotalie tiamun ko sefo subo African Oriental Store nyinom bitikoti mu yale sulata fengo fenna isa sotono jele na mano sotalie le mirango tame nyintingo andi churayo anin fana manyina ke wala muli yalon ko walal buka bambang ila futu bungo kono na borol sotale boro mi yalon ko asema ko ino ila futu larango kan wali abayal sotale samato anin abaye façon jamal mon manyina ke wala muli yalon ko walal kala fi haftano la na tobano sotale anin churayo iba dawon daranding ñu US anin Canada banko kan isom ordering kalele website to mumu www.orientalafricanminimart.com ka sipin fanan kalele African Oriental Store Africa America kono bata banta fere
guluje yimbe ka hore leydi woni ko ƴettindu pikiri coronavirus non ko gonga anda ɓale anda dani anda paykun anda mawɗo wari africans ɓe ɓuri ka hore leydi sabu non ala lekki kono kibaruji welɗi ɗi woni ndu heeɓi haray pikiru ko kala yoreno dedindi labi ko dum non ko fewno coronavirus no wodi o nyawono
ñom dañuy bañ dictator man ma leen gëna bañ dictator man I cannot empower a dictatorship in this country. And Gambians will never entrench or empower dictatorship in this country. If Mama Kande is considered dictator, then this should have been realized long time ago. Not only by them, but the entire Gambian people. And honestly, frankly speaking, any day that I, Honorable Omar Sise, realize that element of dictatorship in the leadership of the Gambia Democratic Congress, that is the very day I will resign as a member of the Gambia Democratic Congress. But up to now, since 2016, this I cannot realize in the leadership of the Gambia Democratic Congress. Kon ñom dictator bu nekk di wax ne Honorable Mama Kane def na dicter ci lu ñu wara def, Honorable Mama Kane mo leen wax lu ñu wara def, I think I should be affected. Honorable Alaji Sa, who is also an MP, should be affected. Because any decision that we are making in the National Assembly, we are there together. We are making decisions together. We are making submissions together. So kon su fekke lolu amna ñu oñu meeting man fokk na ne Honorable Alhaji Sow should be affected, I should also be affected. Why amul benn yoon pour ma leral li askan bi dégg ko amul benn yoon boo xam ne the leadership of the Gambia Democratic Congress taxaw ne ne lii ngeen war a def by force defu leen ko lii moo leen a toppa si loolu mosul koo wax député mosul koo wax councilor mosul koo wax chairmanam mosul koo wax central executive kon kooku naka la mën a nekkee dictateur amul benn yoon bi nga xam ne tey Honorable Mama Kane war nañoo waxtaanee dara si néegi député yi mu oo député bi na leen lii ngeen war a def forcé wala ñu daaxal leen parti bi loolu mostu am kon ana dictateur bi nga xam ne loolu leen nekk di oote si lii léegi nag su fekkee ñoom fu ñu wéer seen argument bi ñu ne loolu kañ la start ñu ne draft constitution ba mu commencé ñu ne Honorable Mama Kane oote na mu ne leen lii ngeen war a def waaye kon ñoom leeraluñ ne su ngeen defee lii moo leen a dal draft constitution boobu GDC is a stakeholder to the draft constitution. GDC is a well-structured political party, and we have a role to play as much as the draft constitution is concerned. So su fekkee loolu am na GDC yi am na right pour mu oo nitam yëpp mu wax leen ne this is our position as long as the draft constitution is concerned. What is wrong about that? GDC is a stakeholder. GDC is an institution. GDC has a role to play. GDC stood and campaigned on the ground that they want to provide the nation a new constitution. If things are unfortunate that we couldn't win the election, we still stand by our words. That is to provide the nation a new constitution. So if we realize that the current government is moving towards that direction, there is no way that the GDC will stand against that. So we were supporting the government to do that. We were complimenting the government to achieve that movement. So lolu motax honorable Mama Kandeh on a député bi yépp central executive talk neen not once not twice ñu waxtaanee li nga xam ne moo jëm ci draft constitution bi ñu séga ko ségaat ko waxtaan si ak ñu ci war a waxtaan joxe suñu submission at the end of the day ñu conclude ne there is need for us to support the draft constitution. Of course, if this is concluded by the central executive of the GDC, what is wrong in this for the central executive and the leadership to call their representative and inform them that this is the stand of the party, we are in support of the draft constitution. So it is up to you now whether you will support it or not. But I am not dictating any one of you because you are representing a constituency. Lii mooy li nga xam ne moo xew. So su fekkee ñoom dañ wéer seen argument bi ne draft constitution bi honorable Mama Kandeh mu ne force da nga am pour support ko wala ñu daaxala parti bi. All these people that you are seeing here, they are executive members. This has never happened in any meeting of the GDC during the draft constitution process. They can attest to that. So kon ana point bi nga xam ne ñii loolu leen nekk di wax lii maya allégation la Gambien si den war a bàyyi su la nit doolelee su la nit yafalee su la nit joxee lim la war a jox mu dooleel la jox la place may la lim la war a may gunge la ba fu nga war a egga nga jàllal bi ko di ko jamfa ba pare jàllal bi ko di wax lu la neex si kaw kooku noonu lii leen war a bàyyi ma ne soo nekkee place nga doon nekk si place bi place bi neexatul la bàyyil place bi ngir yàlla nga bàyyi ñooñu nekk si jàmma waaye nga ne déedéet damay xaar ñu daaxama man de kenn du ma xaar kenn daaxama su ma gëmatu si lu ma nekk ñu bàyyi kàddu yu ñaaw yu nga xam ne ñu ngi koo jël di ko tuumaan nit yi ñu bàyyi wax yu ñaaw yu nga xam ne ñu ngi koo jël di ko tuumaan nit yi ngir lan ñooma daaxa parti bi te yow yaa daaxa sa bopp leneen li nga xam ne leeral neen ko seen biir waxtaan ñu ne honorable Mama Kandeh gëmut Gambian si bëggut réew mi Barrow moo ko gën a am the interest of the nation ah wax jool jaaxal na ma de su fekkee nga xam ne tey President Adama Barrow moo gën a am the interest of the nation than the GDC and its leadership, then this will be a surprise, not just to the executive of the GDC, but to the Gambian people at large. Li ko waral mooy yow nga ne ki nga toppa moo gëm réew mi moo bugg a réew mi te ki nga xam ne nii moo la dooleel indi la fi nga nekkal lim def si réew mi ki nga bugg a toppa mun a gut koo def si biir réew mi te kooku nga dénk sa alal loolu man dina ma jaaxal. Président Adama Barrow moo gën a bugg a réew mi sa hôpital yi ñu ngi nii mënuñoo am garab. Président Adama Barrow moo bugg a réew mi sa jigéen ñi ngi dem hôpital di dee foofu ngir ñàkk a garab. Président Adama Barrow moo bugg a réew mi yaa ngi dem si hôpital doo mun a am garab. Président Adama Barrow moo bugg a réew mi sa yoon yi mënuñoo baax. Président Adama Barrow moo bugg a réew mi yow mënuloo am ndox sa dëkk. Président Adama Barrow moo bugg a réew mi yow mënuloo am courant sa dëkk. Président Adama Barrow moo bugg a réew mi yow sa school si xale yi nekk di jàng muntu correct. Président Adama Barrow moo bugg a réew mi hôpital yi mënuñoo am ambulance mu ngi jël moto di ko jox ay nit nga ne kooku moo bugg a réew mi te yaa ngi jàkkaarloo ak political party boo xam ne tey dénkuloo ko alal joxuloo ko dalasi joxuloo ko dara mu ngi jël alalam di dugga di génn di la dimbale sa askan kooku kon parti boobu wala leadership boobu naka la ko président Adama Barrow di gagné ndaxte GDC doon na political party boo xam ne tey soo demee si wàllu education dugal neen fa suñ loxo soo demee si wàllu yoon dugal neen fa suñ loxo soo demee si wàllu hôpital dugal neen fa suñ loxo soo demee si wàllu agriculture dugal neen fa suñ loxo soo demee si wàllu dooleel ndaw ñi sponsor ndaw ñi dugal neen fa suñ loxo nga dem si yeneen ak yeneen ak yeneen yu nga xam ne GDC dugal neen fa seen loxo nguur gi sax mënul lii waaw léegi nag su fekkee da nga taxaw ne kon président Adama Barrow moo gën a bugg a réew mi honorable Mama Kandeh man loolu dina ma jaaxal te su doonoon Adama Barrow kese su nekkoon moom kese doo doon mos a taxaw nekk député président Adama Barrow dafa campaign against each and every one of us including them su doonoon Adama Barrow ak nitami rek konoon ñoom duñ doon mos a nekk député ndaxte président Adama Barrow taxaw na seen biir dëkka taxaw na seen biir constituency taxaw na seen biir askan bi di wane na ñooñu xamuñ di wane na ñooñu mënuñ di wane na ñooñu nekkuñ dara di wane na ñii ku leen jox place suñ ko yóbbu tey nga taxaw na yow kooku nga war a support te su nekkoon moom yow doo doon mos a nekk député waa lii xel mun na koo nangu nga ne kooku moo bëgg a réew mi nga ne kooku moo la nar a dimbale nga ne kooku moo lay jox place nga ne kooku moom nga gëm man loolu dina ma jaaxal kon Gambien si den war a bàyyi seen xel si li nga xam ne loolu leen nekk di doxalee politique si biir réew mi fii soo demee ba nga xam ne si li nga nekk doyatul la kon ni nga bàyyi nga dem doxi sa soxla keneen dem doxi soxlaam dan ngi jël ay kaddu di ko jam nit dama ne daaxa bi nga xam ne daaxa neen ko gars yi bu journaliste yi téye ne lii léegi la sogaa xew lii ba mu xewee yàgg na journaliste yi waxtaanee wuñ ko woon ba ñii daan ànd ak président Adama Barrow di dem rally ba ñii daan ànd ak président Adama Barrow di dem politics ba ñii daan ànd ak président Adama Barrow to move from one point to another across the country. We never interview them. We never talk to them. We never make it a case. We never make it something that is really worth discussing. Oh, today the GDC took the decision to dismiss them, so it's a case. Where were those who were supposed to question them, to ask them, to engage them, to know what is the leading factor, why they are supporting the president? That was never make a case. But today is a case. Daha bibam ame yagana. Since March, len daha ki nga xamne moy Honorable Keba Jallow ak Honorable Salif Diao. What happened in the National Assembly is just a statement to make the National Assembly aware that they are no longer representing the GDC party in Parliament. It was just a statement. So GDC supporters lolu bum len tital, lolu bum len ragallo, lolu bum len yobbu fen, nen xamne parti bi fum taxawon mi ngi taxaw fofu ben tay, liggéey bu mu non def dina ko continuer di def te December on the 4th GDC dafay dem State House. Jërë ngeen jëf.
Thank you, Honorable. Si leeral boobu noonu foog naa am na solo torop. Ñu ngi laa jaajëf foog naa Gambien yi war nañu tollu foo xam ne góor dafa war a bokk si ñun foog naa sax dañ ko war a yokk si loi bi te dafa am solo. Doomi aadama da nga war a gore nit ki du la yefal dooleel la jël alalam def ko si yow ba pare nga wor ko olbate ko di am ay kaddu yi ngay wax si moom foog naa ne war nañoo.
For the benefit of other, language speakers, then I may try to speak in English, just to continue on the quest to reach as many as possible. I will just start by saying I believe one of the most important quality of a leader should be honesty. It is one thing that defines who people are, what they represent, what type of leadership, what type of channels, what type of routes that they would take their people through. And it is incumbent upon all leaders in this country, not only political party leaders, but even leaders in our households. Honesty is very key, it's very important. And this is one of the lessons that I've learned again from these two members of parliament that were representing the GDC. The GDC party, as everybody knows, have rules and regulations, a service rule, a code of conduct that people that serve in the party, are members that are subscribed to the party, are expected to live with. And specifically, if the Central Executive Committee is concerned and members of parliament that are representing GDC, one of those rules states that the moment somebody wins an election on the GDC ticket as a member of parliament, the person automatically becomes a member of the Central Executive Committee of the GDC. That being the case, the same code of conduct states that no executive member of the GDC should be absent from executive meetings for 3 consecutive times. And in fact, for any executive meeting, there must be notice advanced before the meeting. The said MPs, I will challenge them that even myself, being a deputy party leader of this party, cannot tell you, cannot recall the very last time they set foot within the premises of the GDC, much more talking about attending a GDC executive meeting. And they never advanced to the party any reason for doing so. The GDC programs has it that executive members, and most especially the members of parliament, should be paying contribution to the party, as all other political parties, or most other political parties around the world do, to support the financing of their political parties. These specific 2 members of parliament, I challenge them, even if they are going to print statements of their accounts to show that they have respected and have been paying such contribution to the party, they refuse to do so. They refuse to do so. In the elections in Kirjarga Ward and in Jara Central, in the local government elections, the by-elections, Salif Jawo publicly campaigned against the JDC candidate. And he made mention that he is of the NPF, the Barrow camp, because Barrow, as president, has an agenda that's better than of the GDC. And can you imagine a member of parliament who claimed to be representing GDC in the House would publicly campaign against a GDC candidate in his constituency? Yet still he said that their expulsion is a blow to the party. But even for Salif Jawo, in the Kirjarga elections, in his home village, GDC won again. And he made declaration that there is a blow to the GDC because his people in the constituencies asked him to leave the GDC. And in fact, when he publicly campaigned against the GDC a few months ago, after he declared his loyalty to the Barrow camp, in his home village again, GDC won. So therefore, the major reasons, the reason why these people are expelled from the party is they have no representative in the party. They do not attend party meetings. They do not contribute. In fact, never would they stand in GDC platforms. They don't attend our rallies. Not any one of them would they even have contact with. There is not a single protocol, a single rule that is found within all GDC books that any of these people, any of these 2 candidates have been living or been respecting for the past 2 years. And then the issue of the draft constitution. In the recent, let us see who is doing dilly-dally here. The draft constitution was a Barrow project. It's a coalition government project, not GDC project. At the planning stage, GDC made it very clear that most important to our country at that time was that we could just go by amending the 1997 Constitution. And we were made enemy of the state by the coalition regime headed by President Barrow. It is Barrow and his government that constituted a Constitution Review Commission, gave them a mandate to bring us a new constitution. It was them who used public funds, public resources, the media, and lobby for funds to advance, to present a new constitution to the Gambian public. It is not the GDC. After the work was conducted, the report was submitted to them, and we went through, and we see there is a lot of good in this draft constitution. Of course, GDC would support it. And we came out publicly to make very clear to the people that we are supporting the draft constitution because of the good it holds. Unfortunately, President Barrow and his government and his MPs, specifically to mention these two, are the same people again who caricature the draft constitution that they use our funds to bring to the assembly, and who throw it out from the National Assembly. How come GDC be responsible for that? And the dilly-dally continues. Few days ago, in the recent, the 59th ECOWAS summit, haven't we seen the UN rep, the rep to the Secretary General, urging political parties to try to form a consensus towards bringing this constitution into effect? It was said in the face of our president, and they didn't try to say that that's not what we needed. So then who is doing that? It's not us. And I will make this very clear. The Constitution guarantees every citizen's right to be voted into office and or to vote in electoral processes. And that's why there are people who choose to be represented through political parties. And if that is not what you don't want, there is a clause for you to go and stand independent. You'd be an absolute hypocrite if you go through a party ticket, being sponsored by a party, being supported by a party, being voted into office by members of a party. No, they were not voted by every member of their constituencies. No, it is those that registered, that submitted to the GDC protocols that voted them into office. There were different manifestos presented to the people. And the voters chose and said, it is what is in GDC's manifesto that suits us, and that's what we are voting. And that's how they were sent to Parliament. If they are honest, then in Parliament, that should be the course that they should continue. That is how you represent the people. And this again just inform us about some of the illiterate people that we might have on this, that believe that they know democracy and are advancing democracy, but they don't know. We have seen in the UK, Boris Johnson, in fact, when he took over, before he even went into elections, he sacked 21 MPs that refused to advance his agenda, the party agenda. And after they went into election, the Conservatives regained all those seats. None of them won their seats because they are properly informed. And they know in there they represent their political parties. If you don't want to represent a political party, go and stand as an independent candidate. 27 made it very clear. A lot of independent candidates contested the election. Only one was sent to the parliament by the people. Therefore, people made their decision and they chose to send people, represent them through political party, and that is a proper representation. If anything is changed at the level of National Assembly, then they have changed, they have altered the will of the people. Because the will of the people is that percentage, those 5 MPs, to represent them in the parliament under the ticket, under the name, and under the manifesto of the GDC. That is proper representation. Anything that's different from that is an alteration that is not in the interest of our country. So we will make this very clear. We ask them to support the draft constitution, and we will even ask them again tomorrow because we believe there is good in it. Look at our situation now. It is very sad that Gambia is going into elections. And can you imagine, this is a country where somebody can have 10% of the votes and be declared a winner in these elections. And we call ourselves Democrats. It is the same. And who should have given us that? It is President Barrow and his government. In 2016 and before 2016, this was one of the insults meted against the regime, that they are undemocratic. One of the most fundamental aspects of democracy is more than 50% of the electorate to choose their leaders, not a situation where we have 10% of the population to decide who leads them. A country will never advance when 80% or 90% of the population are not in favor of the ruling party. That's not democracy. We're just fooling ourselves. And it is incumbent on them to give us that. We need it. This election process we are going in is all made to look like this by President Barrow and his government. And this was not the promise made to the Gambian people. So the expulsion of these two specifically came from the GDC Executive Committee. And it was not done because we just wanted to do so or we have any differences between ourselves and them. No, but they have not ruled. They have not lived by the expectation of the party. They do not even mention the party's name. They don't attend party rallies. They don't attend executive. None of them can tell you the last time they set foot in GDC offices. So they have disrespected, disregarded our protocols, our code of conduct, our service rule, our constitution, everything, any document the party has. And they say they're leaving the GDC to the agenda of the president, that they call it, and the agenda of President Barrow. Yes, we know. I can list a lot of agendas of the president. The Janneh Commission was an agenda of the president. How did it end? Up until this minute, citizens continue to question, to ask, what was made, what was raised during the process of that process? Where is the money? How has it been spent? It was very unfortunate when we saw the ruling, when the lawyers representing Karafi and others filed for an injunction at the court. Even at that level, we still learn again that it was the horse before the cart by this government. And when they were supposed to implement the recommendation of the Janneh Commission, again, another commission that was set up by the President Barrow's government, by the President Barrow's agenda, that the agenda, they say that it is so good that they deserted GDC for that agenda. The recommendations were not made in the interest of the people. It was cherry picking. It was cherry picking. People that work with the current regime, in the current executive, were allowed to continue their services, do what they have to do. Others that were not in their favor, banned from taking up jobs in the civil service. That was the outcome of that. Money of the state, of the people, resources of this country that belongs to all of us, spent, and that's where it ended. Probably we're still waiting for the implementation of the recommendations. But at the end of the day, it has clearly manifest what the agenda is. We have seen that of Faraba, Banta report. The recommendation included the police be supported, be equipped, be trained more in crowd handling on issues like that. That is not what we are still seeing today. Still now the agenda that they decided GDC for, we have seen the passport scandal in 2019. The diplomatic passport scandal. One of the people mentioned who was a driver to the president received again months later, being given a red carpet to the State House. That is the agenda they say they claim to have deserted GDC for. In January 2021, we're still the least satisfied about the process of handling the $88 million worth of cocaine that was seized in this country. What we expected was a government that will take the absolute leadership in making sure this country, the youth of this country are protected. That nobody uses our source for transit, for illegal transits. We still see how slow the process is. The culprits still at large. We do not see frequent reports coming regarding this matter. We do not. Yes, there is an agenda, and that's the agenda they decided GDC for, as they claim. And to the people, it is time for us to stop allowing certain people believing that they can use us. I sometimes feel like I am being pinched when I see an MP in the House sent by a political party ticket saying that in this House I don't represent a political party, I represent national interest. It's an absolute confusion. It tells you that that person has no idea what he's there to do. And that's why even in the process, every political party, their manifesto is vetted by the IEC against the national constitution. And IEC will reject it if it has any contrary effect with the national constitution. There is no way a party can take anything into that House that is not in the interest of the people. It is an insult to the people. It has to stop. When a parliamentarian believes that the people you left behind are illiterates, and then you can say in here, I represent the, what is the national interest? The national interest is the people's interest. Is the party interest, the national interest. How can you even imagine if what the party is sending you to do was not national? The constitution of the Gambia will guarantee it. It is the constitution of the Gambia that guarantees political parties to be represented in that House in the proportion decided by the people through the votes. How can somebody think that low and say something, utter something like that? What is fair is in that party, if you are in that House, if you are from GDC, you advance the manifesto of the GDC. If there are national debates, you advance what GDC believes to be the right thing for this country. So if you are from UDP, if you are from DOI, if you don't want to advance any of these from this political party, stand as an independent candidate, and when you go there, speak freely your mind. And even if you do so, you speak your mind, you are not being fair. You have no right in that House to speak your mind. There is no MP in that House that has any right to speak your mind. It's not for your mind. It is for the interest of the people, what they believe, what they want, what they think, not your head. That has to be made very clear. You don't speak your mind there. We don't send you there to speak your mind. This goes to all MPs. And we have been hearing this a lot of times. A member of parliament in this House will say, you have no mind to speak there. You are there to speak what people ask you to say. It is also have problems. and send you there to represent those problems. Don't talk about your problems in that house. That would be illegal. And I can assure you that a GDC government will be very different from the President Barrow's government. Absolutely different. Our reform programs will be absolute reforms, not only mere words and mere sentences in pages, in paragraphs, in books. That will not be what we will come to do. We will reform institutions. The civil service will be reformed in ways that will bring glory to this country. And this will include both home and the foreign service. We will make sure that an anti-corrupt institute will be instituted, and corruption, we will fight against corruption in this country. We will fight corruption from whoever it is, being people from our own midst, from our own team, or whoever it is. We will not fight corruption looking into favors by affection or anything. We will fight corruption justly. An anti-corruption commission, our government will make sure and see to it that will be one of the most vibrant, supported institutions in this country. We will bring tax reforms. What people do in this country, not only mentioning the high tax rates in this country, that can even discourage a lot of investors coming to this country. But people that pay tax regularly, at the end of the day, should be able to get something back from those. And that will inform the tax authorities that the money we give them must be put in the best use of this, in the best use for people of this country. Our government and our government will be a government that calls for diversity and inclusion. We will not accept people standing in our platforms and calling tribes to support and vote us. That's not us. Unfortunately, we have seen recently people from the group that they went to decided us, that's what they do. That's not us. A GDC government will be a government that will practice, will not only preach but also practice inclusion, togetherness. Opportunities will be based on meritocracy. The reason why we continue to suffer in this country is because opportunities are not based on meritocracy. After all, we have seen presidential advisors who really cannot, we don't even know what they would advise. How can you advise the president on political matters if you don't even have never written politics in a book? How is that possible? With the situation of a country, a brand new democracy starting, a beginning country, with all the hiccups, a GDC government will not appoint a political advisor who has never seen that word politics in a book. That will not be us. Youth empowerment will be seen. We will not bring a youth minister because we are going into elections. No, no, no. Youth affairs will be run by the youths in our government. Women will not be left behind. Sometimes I say this a lot. When we meet and start talking about national issues, and somebody who think that has represented women in a lot of ways will say, let us not forget about the women, let's cater for them. Why would you cater for them? Do we men own it to cater for them? We have to make sure they have their share equally as part of everything, not when we do things and cater for them. And that will be the strategy of the GDC. The disabled, the elderly. It is very, very sad that you have seen somebody with more than 65, somebody that has retired. And the only reason that they would go for their pensions is because they don't have an option. We have seen people that are supposed to receive their pension and would send for it or will be trying to receive it other way just to hide from being seen. That's not going to be a GDC government with the elderly. We will develop agribusiness in this country, broadly define agriculture, crops, livestock, poultry, agriculture, beekeeping, and so on and so on. A lot can be. A GDC government will make so that our raw materials will not continue leaving the source of this country as raw as they are naturally made. Value adding will be one of the things that we will champion as a government, quietly different from what they said or they are calling, they are deciding for us for. A complete health sector reform will be instituted. Our institutions supported with equipment that would define their roles, also supporting students that are interested in learning, in studying fields in the health sector. Free medication for the pregnant woman and the elderly and the disabled. These are part of the promises that GDC would make for our health sector reform. Quality education. We will significantly increase education, access to education nationally. Teacher development incentive and rewards will be one of our programs. Quality education that will compete not only locally but internationally is going to be what GDC would institute in this country. Sound economic policies in agriculture, in tourism, in fisheries, and so on and so on and so on. We will not be a government where people, the led, will feel that they have no connection with the leaders. And that's what we are saying today. Yesterday you were in the shop. You bought something for $5. Today you go, the same person will tell you $10, and there is nothing you can do about it. And we are all witness to that. All of us are witness to that. All of us are witness to that. It's happening now. You don't even know where the prices are coming from. The person, and we'll do it with the same stock. The same stock. In fact, it's not going to be a situation where might be probably something has changed. But the same stock, the same carton from which you bought yesterday for $10, today you're going to buy it from the same carton again, $15. Pedestrians are suffering. From this small KMC, you pay fare 3 times, 4 times. Nobody talks about it. Nobody dares to talk about it. How do they care about the welfare of the people? How do they care about the welfare of the people? A free market system also means a system where the people are protected. In many parts of Europe, you'll find out that they have caps for basic commodities, that there is no way a household can be charged, example, electricity, more than 400 pounds. Are we more free than those market systems? We are not. But because they care for the interest and the welfare of their people. And that's the kind of government a GDC government will be. Good governance, transparency, accountability, participation, rule of law, not cherry picking. Accountability, transparency is a rare gem. Is a rare gem in this regime, and we all know that. Effective revenue collection, improved information communication technologies, and so on. All of these things will be. And finally, I want to urge all Gambians that here we are going into another election. In 2016, a brief recap, GDC was said to have refused to join the coalition then, which was never true, never the case. I represented GDC, and I was one of the leaders in those talks representing for GDC. The first talks were called held at the NRP bureau, and I've represented all those meetings. I've attended all those meetings. At the later part, they said what was brought in by the political parties that formed the coalition was the share. If we should win the government, the share will be based on the 2011 election statistics. Then I stood up and said that is impossible because GDC was not existing then. And they said that doesn't matter, but that's the only thing we can do. Then I even brought in a suggestion. Why not You have seen us. We have gone out up to 3 times. Why not you rate us and give us a percentage? And they say no. Then later Halifa Saleh called for talks. We also attended those talks. It went up to a point where we said, by next meeting we all parties were urged to go to the executive and work on modalities about how to select the candidate, the leader. We all went for that meeting. We were supposed to converge in that session, and now each party will present about how they think would be the most appropriate modality to select a leader. We, GDC, we get to the ground and we found the media, the press, they were called. And when I asked for, why is the press here? Because this is not what we're coming here to do today. And they said that people have been pestering us, have been following us. We just need to tell them we have agreed. And I said, we GDC are never going to be part of that. We will never be part of that. That we have agreed and we have not agreed. And that very day, it was announced to the government that there was an agreement. There was never an agreement. And it was on that date that GDC withdrew from those talks. I can remember vividly. While I was standing at the door with our former deputy party leader, Mr. Yusuf Ajaite, the Honorable Halifa Saleh came there. And he was saying that it is necessary, it is important, we all be part of this. Then we said we are not going to be part of this. What we agreed what we're going to do today is not this. I can remember he said, we just look into the national interest. But we stood our ground and said, we are never going to be part of this declaration. And it was on that day that GDC withdrew from those talks. And after all, the truth was, they were not even never interested for GDC to join those talks. I can remember vividly, wallahi, Allah, in fact, I am calling names. After that election, after that day, it was in this room, the current vice president came. My auntie Ajiyam Seka was here. Sidi Ajata was here to call Mama Kande and the GDC to join the coalition. And we reminded them of the reasons. I can remember when Asiru Touré would hug Mama Kande and told him that we know that you are on the right track. It's not a lie. I dare not. That happened here. That happened in this room. So GDC have since inception have been a party that stand by the principle of telling Gambia the truth. Even if it is going to harm us, even if it's going to be very expensive, we will take it, but we will not present lies to the Gambian people. Where are the promises made? It was 3 years, they said. It was agreement, they said. Where is the protocol? Where is the agreement? Then if anybody has fooled the Gambian people, it's not the GDC. And that we will never do. So we thank you all for coming. We thank you for sparing your time to join us in this press conference. And inshallah, going towards the elections, we'll be doing briefings regularly, inshallah, with the media to then give you current information about affairs of the party. Inshallah ta'ala. Thank you all. Jërëjëf.
Thank you, Honorable Kat. Most of the Gambians were skeptical on why the GDC was not part of the coalition. I think their doubts have been cleared. And back to what we are gathered here for, I think it's very important that we realize as Gambians that it's high time that when we send people for particular purposes and they don't serve that purpose, we have the right to retrieve them or to withdraw them from that seat or from that title that we gave them. I believe the people that those MPs were represented are not happy with the fact that they were not representing them. They were not speaking their voice, but instead speaking their own voice. And I really don't understand why the journalists or the press or the Gambians at large did not ask those people why they choose not to speak for the people who put them in those positions, for the people who they are representing, but instead choose to follow their own way for their personal interest. Nonetheless, thanks to our previous speakers and thanks for clarifying the whole issue. I hope the Gambians will now know the stand of GDC and why we decided to officially make those MPs and the entire nation realize that they are not serving the purpose of them being elected. We will now go to the question and answer session, and it's open. Anyone can ask a question to whoever you want to ask a question to, preferably the members of the high table or our previous speakers. The question and answer session is open.
From the coalition.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that a coalition is made based on an agreement. Huh? They were challenged. You know, this coalition was challenged. We have seen a party leader in the country ask them to publish their agreement. We have seen that in the past. But I can tell you vividly, the reason why GDC withdrew from those talks is we were asked to be part of the coalition on that very day to tell Gambians that we have agreed on a specific modality of taking over a leader, and we refused to. And this was why we withdrew from those talks. And they all know that that was what happened.
No agreement, coalition agreement.
Let them give it out to the people if there is. But what I can tell you is at the very final day, we were not there. But we withdrew because at that point in time, we were told to tell people that we have agreed, whereas on that very day, what we were supposed to do is all of us to come and present to the people, all political parties, what morality we think was fitting for a leader to be elected. I can remember vividly what my presentation was supposed to be, that the best way to elect a leader for the coalition was to take the ballots, identify certain areas in this country, take the ballots there, inform the people, and the people decide whoever that they vote for on a particular day, then the people will still maintain that when you come out to general election. And therefore, we would have represented the will of the people. That was what we proposed, and that proposal was never given platform to be read out to the others.
Okay, another question about, the two MPs, they allege that, Mama Kande is a dictator. Omar Sise yesterday, I had an interview with him, but there is a point that I missed. I did not ask him because I think that was an oversight on me. They said even financial dealings of the party, Mama Kande said he has the financing. Even financial dealings. You as a deputy party leader, what do you say to these allegations against your number one?
Yeah, I know they are really false allegations. Before I first was the auditor of the party, then from there being the head of the finance secretary of the party, then before becoming the PRO of the party. So I have absolute information about how GDC financings are run. In fact, first how we made our funds. They say, and all of these things happen through contribution. Probably they will not know because they refuse to contribute. That's one. And you will not know because when you are contributing and you don't contribute, you actually will not know how much we have made. That is one of the issues. But when it comes to, I can even tell you that I cannot remember the last time Mama Kande instructed for funds to be paid out of GDC accounts. No. Even when I was there, the decision mostly would have been left with me. If anything, if it comes to him, he would say relate to, finally, he would advise, and then finally relate
What from your point?
Okay, no, it's okay. Oh, you want to answer? Okay, why not? You can go ahead.
Wonderful question. And first, let me say a party that is yet to contest for presidential election, a party that is yet to contest for parliamentary election across the nation, a party that is yet to contest for council election across the nation, mayor and chairmanship, you cannot grade that party. And one can always stand to grade the GDC. You cannot establish the popularity of the NPP. This is a political party that is established of recent. So obviously there is no yardstick that you and I can use to determine the popularity of that political party. And one can always do this. The GDC contested in the presidential election and our percentage is well known. The parliamentary election and the councillorship election. So obviously, in as much as politics and records are concerned, GDC forms the majority as opposed to the NPP. This no one can question. This no one can argue. There is no record that you can base your argument to say the NPP is more than the GDC. So where is the point? What yardstick are you using to measure that? As per the records. Thank you.
Okay, my second question is, Honorable Siva Jalo is alleged that you guys deleted from your workshop group. Was this not premature? Really going to one and possible GDC before his exclusion as the greatest number from the GDC workshop group?
Thank you. It's also another a very important question. I believe, you see, this is a long story. I make it very clear during my presentation or deliberation that these are individuals who were in any way not interested in the dealings of the party. They have nothing much to do with the party. And the GDC took it upon itself to ensure that they are invited, they are cautioned. Okay, let them speak out. What exactly is wrong? What is wrong somewhere? Let us discuss it as a party and bring everything to an end. But there was never a solution. Whatever that is discussed, at the end, if they go out, they will never appear again. They will not talk about the GDC. They will not associate themselves with the GDC. They will not attend political rallies and all that not. So obviously, if you as an individual, you have nothing to do with me, I don't think whether I should still keep you being informed about what is happening in that political party. So obviously, if you are not interested anymore, I don't have to keep you informed. And by doing that is to remove you from all form of communication that is happening within the GDC. It's not something that is premature. So many things happen before their removal from various WhatsApp groups, because we engage them several times in order to come to an agreement on certain things or to see how best we can resolve whatsoever that they believe is wrong to them or in the party. And they never in any way agree to that. So obviously the best thing is for us to remove them and not to keep them informed about the way the party is run. That is the exact thing we did, and there is nothing wrong about that. Yes.
Can I ask my question in the local language?
Very well.
Okay. My name is Mary Dani from Gambia Granada. You know that I said, come December, Sam Kaka to Ame, Yala the during the presidential election. So those members of the parliament you have a new year experience in the party. You look at them to us about are you going to put us for them to the
My sister, this is something that we are realizing in the GDC. The GDC is a very open party. It's not owned by an individual. Oh, should I speak in Wolof as well? Oh, okay. GDC nekk na parti bi nga xam ne nii dafa yaatal ay mbagam pour ñëpp ñu dugga ñëpp ñu xëj kenn moomut ko Gambian si ñoo moom parti bi yow sa boppa sa ëllëg mën ngaa ñëw jiite parti bi dafa des ci noo bëgg a liggéey ak parti bi. So lii nekk na li nga xam ne am na si parti bi ba pare nekkul li nga xam ne we are expecting it. Am na ñu nga xam ne bokkoon nañ si parti bi nekk top executive members of the party ñu dem join NPP ñu del si wax si parti bi li am na si parti bi so obviously kenn du ñëw ñu reject la dañoo xam ne fi nga jógee nga dellusiwaat te dëgg bi rek mooy mujj loolu nga ñu nekk di wan loolu nga nekk di démontrer soo ku muntu dem soo dellusiwaatee dinañ la accommoder dinañ ànd ak yow dinañ liggéey ak yow su fekkee réew mi moo la ñor if you are coming for personal gain there is no room for you if you are coming to develop alongside with GDC the progress of the nation you are always welcome it doesn't matter how far or how long you left the GDC but whenever you decide to come back you are welcome we have no problem with that thank you yes
dama am ñaari question lu ma la bëgg a laaj moo nekk benn ñaari MP yaa ngi wax ne since match si ngeen leen daaxa kon nga ne xibaar bi dafa génn kon ñun foog naa ñu démb lañ def xibaar bu dégg National Assembly ñu mun a koo génni so yaa ngi jëmal leen kon ñu doon ñëw di jàpp tasaare lu dilee GDC but terum na génne statement boobu nag as early as possible so comme question bi moo nekk gis naa sa statement boobu tamit moo ne you must complete on Adama Barrow. Did Adama Barrow have hand on this?
Thank you. Should I respond in Wolof? Well, li xew mooy ñaari député yooyu noonu nga nekk di wax daaxa bi nekkut léegi la xew dama bëgg ñu understand lii dafa xew lettre bi bañ leen ko joxee depuis March leen bindoon lettre bii waaye nekku ne GDC ñoo daaxa ñii ñoo daaxa seen boppa ñun li ñu def mooy pour ñu mun koo document comme ñoom jiira leen parti bi waaye bëgguñoo binda pour parti bi document ko ñu ne ñun leen binda wan askan bi ne bokkaatuñ ci parti pour ñu mun koo fayil lii la waaye lu xew mooy ñooñu li nga xam ne moo xew si néegi député yi démba bañ yóbboo leetar bi si néegi député yi loolu yàgg na waaye National Assembly nekkuñu woon sit-in loolu moo tax announcement bi mënutoon a ñëw I want people to understand this there was no sitting taking place in the National Assembly that resulted the letter or the statement not being given by the speaker so National Assembly resumed their sitting si leen joxe soog a joxe statement bi notwithstanding lii publication bi soo demee Kër Fatou one of the or three of the media houses publish leen ko foofu noonu I could remember MC Cham sharing this with some of the media houses ñu publish loolu soo demee Kër Fatou network di nga ko fekka foofu noonu I still have this with me soo demee Kër Fatou di nga fekk information bi fii so waxtaanee neen ko maybe people don't build much interest about it waaye lu am ba pare la soo nekkul ne ñun mosuñ koy publish neen ko National Assembly bi ñu joxee démba statement la pour assembly bi itam ñu xam ne ñi bokkatuñ GDC ñu mun a change seen sitting arrangement lii la rek moo xew thank you Adama Barrow nit lay ut na GDC di utee nit soo lim ko jaral dina ko def su fekkee nag yow dafa am lim la dégg li nga xam ne it's a personal gain mun nga dem Adama Barrow mu jox la loolu waaye dama xam ne du doon li mun a continuer su fekkee den dem ngir ñu am luñ ut ci président Adama Barrow loolu muntu continuer ndaxte GDC jaami réew mi la gis réew mi la mooy defal mbooloo la mooy defal amut li nga xam ne daf koy jox kenn nit GDC amul loolu di jël 10,000 am di jël moto am di jël lii am ñun amuñ loolu ñun liñ am mooy bokk ko ak askan bi defal ko askan bi jëriñoo rather than giving or supporting or empowering an individual for personal gain GDC defuñ loolu Adama Barrow nag su fekkee dafa foog ne dafa am xaalis bu muy joxe na joxe te ku mun a jëli na nga jëli December 4 Adama Barrow dafay wàcc kon nga xam ne li nga am ni nga njëkkalante nga jël li nga mun a jël mu gaaw ñu nga xam ne they are interested I am not interested.
One question online la ko jëlee because our person was sent online ñu ngi leen on sa gërëm GDC number de ma UDP as coalition election.
GDC parti la boo xam ne dafa am loo xam ne moo ko tax a taxaw gis nga làmb ju ne képp koo xam ne yàlla sédd na la xel di nga xam ne am na ñoo xam ne foog ñu léewtoo làmb ju ne képp ku yàlla sédd xel da nga xam ne lamba ji foog am na ñoo xam ne dinañ léwtoo tey mbir yi ni mu demee man de suma xam-xam li ma jox ci politique xalaat naa ne lamba ji ñu dégmal si dana am parti yoo xam ne foog ñu léwtoo parti yu bokk na si GDC bokk na si UDP bokk na si NPP bokk na si DOY bokk na si APRC ak yeneen waaye parti la nga xam ne foog ñu jàkkaarloo ñu léwtoo understand nga maanaam nag ñaareel ñi nga xam ne nii xëy na danañu bëgg di raise question boobu noonu li leen koy tax di raise mooy foog nañ ne xëy na buñ ne GDC ak UDP dañ ànda day yàq GDC wala day yàq UDP xalaat bu demee noonu moo dee waral question boobu noonu waaye tey naka la nit mënee imagine ñi nga xam ne ñoo gën a am solo si làmb ji ñi gën a am solo si làmb ji na waaw ñun tey làmb ji dafa am solo trop waaye léegi ñun ñu gën a am solo nañ leen fàtte suñu agenda yi ñu xool yeneen solutions loolu yanul maanaam understand nga dëgg la nag si élection lañ jublu si parti yëpp parti Gambie la yëpp a bokk am si Gambie waaye bu soobee yàlla GDC fi ñu toll nii suñu ité suñu yéene yëpp suñu resource everything ñu ngi koy jeex towards ne paan yi tege paan yi Mama Kandeh tege ñu dóor Amadou Barrow dóor boo xam ne kenn mësu koo xalaat December 4th declare GDC win. This is our plan, this is our priority, this is our agenda from now on te lii mooy leneen loo xam ne yàlla andi na ko si diggante nag wasalaam waaye lii mooy suñu concentration as of now.
Thank you very much. I think we are wrapping up with the question and answer session. And I would like to say thank you for those who asked their questions. I hope the minds of the majority have been cleared of doubt about the GDC and the two MPs that are defected from the party. And I would like to say this to the entire Gambian nation. For those who are aspiring to become members of parliament for particular constituencies or areas in the name of a particular party, be responsible. Because you cannot go in the name of a ticket of a party and you're not responsible of what you have been sent there to do. This is becoming so common, and we don't think leaders who cannot honor their words, who cannot respect the people who send them, should be given the opportunity or the right to lead this nation. So as far as GDC is concerned, on my behalf, I'm really happy that these people are officially no more a part of us, because we don't want to be going to the State House with irresponsible leaders who cannot uphold to their words and their promises. So I will give our PRO the word to give the word of thanks for the people watching and those present here. I will invite Honorable Amidou Jallo to give the closing remarks on behalf of the GDC party. Honorable Jallo, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Marie. Should I speak in English? First of all, I am put yoterende ko kasami ko yomi min haalam hewani hen hande danaka ko jarnugol onon arɓe ɓe e minen ɓe tawɗo on ɓe ko ɗum woni liggeyam e programme waye ɗo am fuɗɗo haala ka taw ko party leadership o ko ɓen jinmi jarno ko fuɗɗori honorable Mama Kandeh Deputy Party Leader 1, Honorable Tina Pal, Deputy Party Leader 2, Honorable Amadou Ka, National Spokesperson, my boss, Honorable Umar Sise, Honorable Alaji Eshow, the National President of the party, Honorable Henry Jao, and the entire executive. We don't salmina onon pop, onon jarna onon pop. Ko gokkudon ko PRO opportunity o hen pour o wawa noddu oɗo press conference pour o laɓɓina ko andantuma hoorema ko ɗum kan haala yalti ɗe balɗe because haala ka heewi gila hanki speaker o hokkiri oɗo statement radio jiɗi fof danaka ko haala wota so yaltugol ni waɗa oɗo press conference mi sikkina moƴƴi because laɓɓinat ko gandantuma hoorema laaɓani he woɓɓe because woɓɓe no naniri ni haala ka woniri ni na certi way ɗum ɗo hande onon to on jeeyi onon media oɗon keeɓi responsibility mon oɗo en hande ko jewon laɓɓinon ko laaɓano ɓay on kettinoma ngoya sengo joni noon on kettima ngoga sengo at least by now on poti waw andu hoɗo gonga ka heeri te gonga ka enen fof ɗon gandiɗo ka heeri on that note miɗo salmina executive members wonɓe ɓeɗo fof miɗon salmina onon ne media house ji gonɗi ɗiɗo fof miɗo salmina the entire GDC supporters wonɓe ɓeɗo yoɓe ngala ɓeɗo fof miɗo salmina yimɓe Gambia fof wonɓe ɓeɗo heɓe ngala ɓeɗo fof on jarama Jeff, thank you so much.
Guliji yimɓe ka hoore leydi woni ko ƴetti ndu pikiiɗo coronavirus noon ko goonga anda ɓale anda dane anda paykum anda mawɗo wari africains ɓe boyi ka hoore leydi sabu noon ala lekki eno kibaruji welɗi ɗi woni ndu heeɓi haray pikiiro
ɓayna fo ƴetti o vaccin jol ko galle yo reno teddinɗi laabi ko ɗum ɗon ko fewno coronavirus no woodi o ñawono
African Oriental Store Africa America kono mole season tongol sotalie anin tongo mume be alie mume ya Gambia banko kan tuluse da sama jorangol kan beef African Oriental Store nyilla le fengol natalie falla bunda ko ngoto mole nete tuwo sotalie tiamun ko sefo subo African Oriental Store nyinom bitikoti mi yale sulata fengo fenna isa soto no jele na mano sotalie le mirango tame nyintingo andi churayo anin fana manyina ke wala mun yalon ko wala buka bambang ila futu bungo kono ta borol sotale boro mi yalon ko asema ko eno ila futu larango kan wali abayel sotale samato anin abaye façon jamal mon manyina kewalla mul yalon ko wallal kala fi haftano la na tobano sotale anin churayo ibada won darandi ni US anin Canada banko kan isom ordering kalele website to mu www.orientalafricanminimart.com ka sipin fanan kalele African Oriental Store Africa America kono bata banta fereng.
If you want to receive monies from UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland and the rest of the world, Supersonic's money transfer has got you covered. With the largest payout network in the Gambia, you can now receive your monies anywhere you are from Kartong to Koina with less hassle. Yes! You can receive monies from your family and friends in UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland and the rest of the world with our safe, secure, fast and convenient service that offers you the largest selection of payout locations in the Gambia. Supersonic's money transfer. We are currently in 34 African countries and counting, giving you quality money remittance services that are second to none. Visit the Google Play Store or the Apple Store today to download the Supersonics Money Transfer app and enjoy excellent money transfer services only with Supersonics.
Montata for more million jama wala linyim pingota coronavirus musasa sotoringansi anding amala nyimu keleti wala nyimu musuleti amai sibo nyoto mo wili jama fata findu banko kan wala lenyi sasa soto anding ayi fale coronavirus man jaral soto bari fanan akibar bima mumunti ay pengu soto le